Maybe the Snowflake allure comes down to a combination of a proprietary solution developed by an organization headed up by a CEO with a very successful track record. Seen from this angle, the enormous jump in Snowflake's market cap is like football fans betting on the New England Patriots because they have got Belichick running the team. And the entrepreneur running Snowflake has gone, this is the third time this entrepreneur has taken a business public, and notably his prior one was ServiceNow, which is an enormous company at this point. I credit the notion Snowflake rocks because the solution is proprietary to a tweet posted on September 19th, 2020 by Matt Assay. And Matt actually references directly somebody by the name of Mike Olson, who he observed mentioned a stunning and irreversible trend in infrastructure. It's all open source. I checked Matt's public profile on LinkedIn. He is listed as a cloud and open source executive with Amazon Web Services. I also checked Mike Olson's public profile on LinkedIn. I noted he spent 11 years at Cloudera, filling many roles, not the least of which was board chairman. Incidentally, if you do take a look at Mike's public profile, I recommend you take a look at his about statement. For someone with an experience set like his humble about statement is very impressive. Too bad more leaders aren't following his example. Mike sums it up succinctly. Engineer with an interest in business, contracts, and ways to monetize open source software. But getting back to Matt Assay's reference to something he mentions Mike Olson noted years ago, the stunning and irreversible trend in infrastructure, it's all open source, Assay clumps Snowflake into the same set of vendors of infrastructure solutions, as if data repositories, data analysis, graphical displays of data have all now become infrastructure. It's an interesting kind of an illusion in and of itself. I think perhaps he means they've all become commodities. And then muses cryptically, quote, it's proprietary. Apparently cloud, not open source, was enough for Snowflake, and with a question mark, and that's the end of his quote, or my quote of his tweet. There is a lot riding on just what Assay means with his notion. Does he mean Snowflake is the stunning and irreversible trend for cloud? What about my comment on his tweet? What's the shelf life of proprietary? Proprietary works great for platforms, think Apple, Microsoft, but proprietary doesn't work great for infrastructure. Skeptical? Consider how Cisco has changed its product line for the very basic example of infrastructure hardware for infrastructure, for example, hardware, network, routers, and switches. Instead of bucking against the software-defined networking push, SDN, and the bare metal switches and routers push, Cisco is now a major player. In other words, they've pivoted successfully to a dominant position in those new markets, which for a company of the longevity of Cisco, that's a major achievement. There are few of its peers, in fact, who can make similar claims. Will Snowflake be able to do the same? If investors are thrilled about something proprietary, think Snowflake rising to a dominant position in a in a market that is all about data and has now devolved into something that can be compared to merely infrastructure, they should be very careful to calculate the shelf life for the Snowflake story. If past history of how this market moves is an indicator, the spoilage factor could be a big one. My name is Ira Michael Blonder. I'm the CEO and founder of IMB Enterprises. Please visit our website, www.imbeenterprises.com. Please also check out my Twitter page, @MikeTheBebop. If you like this kind of commentary, you'd like to have a call and breeze something by me, please don't hesitate. And we'll speak with you next week.